you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, they're listening to the Mixed Official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you and doesn't judge you, at least not as harsh as the rest of the world, because we know you're here learning, growing, and being entertained by all the interesting, wonderful guests we have on the show 2 to 3 times a day, weekday, I should say, Monday through Thursday. We're bringing you some of the most greatest guests, minds, people on the show to keep you entertained. Because if you're not entertained, damn it, go back and listen to all 16 years and 2,400 episodes of the Chris Voss Show. She is the author of the latest book to come out called Maid for Each Other. And that's spelled M-A-I-D, as in like a maid, as it were. Just want to make that clarify. So when people Google it, they're like, I can't find this, Chris. Anyway, Maid for Each Other, out on paperback and let's see, Kindle and audiobook on July 15th, 2025. Lynn Painter joins us on the show. She's a multi-book author. She's written 8 books and she just keeps feeding us.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Lynn Painter. Let me introduce you here, Lynn. She is the USA Today and New York Times bestselling author of Better Than the Movies. She writes romantic comedies for teens and adults. When she isn't reading or writing, she can usually be found binge-watching rom-coms or shotgunning energy drinks at the same time or separately. Welcome to the show, Lynn. How are you?
Great. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate having you as well. Give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs in the sky?
My website is lynnpainter.com, and you can find me at Lynn Painter Books on Instagram, and that's pretty much the only place I hang out.
So tell us, what's inside this new book of yours?
And Made for Each Other is kind of my homage to Pretty Woman. I always loved the Gary Marshall classic and kind of wanted to do like an updated spin on it. So it's basically the main character, Abi Mariano. She is like a lot of us, fresh out of college. You know, she's going back to grad school and has side hustles because you're swimming in student loan debt, as you know, many of us were fresh out of college. And one of her side hustles is cleaning luxury apartments, like on evenings and weekends. And subsequently, her not so nice apartment happens to have a bed bug infestation. And her landlord is like, you need to stay somewhere else for a few days. And she's, doesn't have the flow to be like, oh, I'll just go stay at a hotel. So as she's cleaning one of these luxury apartments, she's like, I know the tenant is in London for a week. What'll be the harm if I crash here? No one will know, right? And so our main character crashes there. And when she wakes up in the morning, there is a couple in the living room who is very happy to see her. They're like, oh, it's so nice to meet you, Abby. And she's confused on what's going on. But as it turns out, as often happened in the real world, the millionaire who lives there has lied to his parents about a fake girlfriend whose name is Abby. And they assume, it is her. And so then rom-com ensues, very steeped in what really happens in the real world.
Yeah, that happens all the time. It happens, Wednesday. Just Wednesday. Right? I was sleeping over in some random person's house. And I came in and I was like, I'm engaged to the bride or something. I do that at weddings too. I just go up and say I'm the best man.
Works every time, right?
Well, you get free drinks. You get all the food there. I forget what they call the table with all the
the head table,
little snacky things there. Yeah, you get a free meal. Everybody's paid for those stupid meals at the wedding, right? You're just like, what's that movie, Wedding Crashers? That's what I do on weekends. I think I found something new to do. So this is your 8th book. Do I have that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
And are all your rom-coms, are they all standalones?
No, 2 of my young adult rom-coms, I wrote a sequel to Better Than the Movies called Nothing Like the Movies. So those 2 are, they're kind of standalone-y, even though one is a sequel, but all the rest of them are definitely standalones.
Oh, well, that was a big hit. So, I'm sure the book publisher is like, hey, we need a part 2, right?
Right. And what's funny about this? I hate sequels. Like when it comes to books, if I see the first one and it ends happy, I don't want a sequel. Like it's already done for me. So when they were like, "You sure you don't want to write a sequel?" I was like, "No, never." And then they were like, "You sure about that?" And I was like, "Well,
we have a check for you."
Right. So it was like once I thought of an idea that I could accept, I was like, okay, maybe we'll do this. But at first, I was adamantly opposed.
Yeah, you were like Francis Ford Coppola, and when they wanted Godfather 2, you're like, no,
right.
Not doing
and
it.
then, and
like,
then he's got the whole.
Here's a check, and he went. There's a lot of zeros on this.
Right. I can make more Bob.
I got some ideas all of a sudden have come to me. There you go. Hey, man, it's all about the chat and the fun, I guess, as well. Anyway, tell us about some of the characters. There's this Abi girl. Is there like a Richard Gere sort of dude in here that I guess maybe love interests, I suppose?
Yes, his name is Declan Powell. And
Declan.
yes, and
you can tell he's rich or his family's rich just by that name, right?
And you know what's funny is when I started writing this, I thought the rich guy good name was Roman. That was going to be the name I went with. And I didn't watch Succession. I don't know if you watched that.
No.
But I didn't either, but my editor apparently did. And it was during the height of Succession when I turned it in. She was like, "Oh, there's a character named Roman in Succession. You don't want his name to be Roman." And I was like, okay, then I will think of another rich man name. So we went with Declan. And he is very Richard Gere, Pretty Woman coded, kind of more of a stoic character. But he also, I found it was really an interesting thing I learned about myself when I was writing it, is that, we all have our preconceived notions and judgments about people and things. And I didn't realize till I started writing it that I was like, I have a hard time in my brain finding a way to fall in love with somebody with billions of dollars if he's not doing something with it. Like I was like, I don't know. That's kind of a red flag if you can buy a watch and be fine with spending $600,000 on a watch. So I was like, I need to come up with like a B plot where he's doing something to make it okay for him to have so much. So that was a whole direction I had to take once I started writing Declan Powell.
All right. Well, just for the record, I, on the other hand, if you're a woman who's a billionaire, I'll date you. I don't give a shit if you're you're feeding money to homeless children in cash or something.
I started laughing with my husband when I realized that, because I was like, because this is super relevant. Like all the millionaires of the world are like, oh, we lost out on Lynn. She wouldn't have us. Like I was. Yeah.
Just wait to get one of those Robert what's his face? Who did that indecent I want to say Exposure, but it's Indecent Offer.
Yeah.
Robert Redford.
Yes, and Demi Moore. Yes.
Demi Moore, yeah. Maybe if you get one of those deals, then plus it's Robert Redford. He's kind of, he used to be hot. Now he just looks like a giant sunburn, so I don't know what that's about. But evidently I'm not allowed into Sundance anymore after that joke. There goes the tree room for me. Dang it. Making fun of Robert and his acne. Anyway, let's see. So tell us about you, for those in the audience who maybe aren't aware of you and your history and what you've been up to. Just the good parts. Leave the dark stuff for the cops and things that look into detectives. But how did you grow up? When did you kind of establish this knack for writing? When did you kind of know too that you had it? Like you're like, I think I have a skill here.
I feel like I spent my whole life really, really clueless. I'm a Midwesterner, grew up in the middle of the country. My dad was in the Air Force. And in school, like literature classes, composition classes were always my favorite, but I never had, that little bell go off like, oh, you should write as a career. And it wasn't until after I was married with kids, my sister came over one day and was like, I was just watching a talk show. I think it was, like the Ellen show, and an author was on there, and she goes, as much as you read, maybe you should try writing a book. And that's such an inane comment, like, oh, you like pills, you should be a doctor. But I started trying writing.
I'm not sure that's how it always works when you like pills. I was an alcoholic once, but I don't think that should make me a bartender. I'm just kidding.
But it made me start writing, and I found my favorite hobby. I sucked at it. But then I went back to the University of Nebraska and studied in the writer's workshop and maybe got a little better, and wrote a lot of really awful books and was rejected for probably, 10, 12 years. And then finally I got an agent, and Better Than the Movies happened, and now we're here a few years later. So it's yeah, it's been a ride.
12 years of trying to get published and stuff. I mean, that's quite a, that's sticking to it.
That's quite a dry spell, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the endurance of, going after these things, chasing your dreams, feeling like, I think I have it. Sometimes, the practice makes you better over time, and you can, you work your trade and your craft and all that stuff. So you get your first thing and your first book publishing thing. Oh, what's that book? And how'd that go? What was it like your first time, work with publishers, and the editing is pretty daunting at big publishers?
Yeah, my first book was Better Than the Movies. It was with Simon & Schuster, and it was...
What was the name of the book?
Better Than the Movies.
No, I know it's Better Than Movies, but what's the name of the book? We're doing Who's on First right now.
Right, exactly. We could go all day.
Sorry.
And then the sequel is nothing like the movie, so we really could go all day with this. Just run in circles.
What's the title of it?
But it came out in May of 2021, and it, it's kind of quiet. Like, I worked on edits, but nobody knows you when your first book comes out. So it's like you can shout on social media, but my 100 followers that I was probably related to, almost all of them, they're like, yeah, we know, Lynn, you have a book come out. But it wasn't until like a year later that through TikTok, Book Talk and Instagram, it started getting word of mouth, and people would make edits about it, and it started picking up speed. And now Better Than the Movies has been on the New York Times list for, I think, 2 years.
Congratulations.
So it's just been an insane ride, like going from having nothing for so long, and then all of a sudden it's all happening. The things you daydreamed about are actually happening. So, Better Than the Movies came out in 2021, and now we're here in 2025 and 8 books later, and it's been a journey.
Wait, it's 2025? No one told me this.
Wake up, you're behind.
Oh God, yeah, I probably am actually, but anyway. So what a ride. And how often do you punch out books? You usually once a year, a few months? How does it work out for you?
I've been kind of regularly having 2 books a year because I write young adult books and I write adult books, all rom-coms. So I usually will have 1 young adult and 1 adult come out each year. This year I also had a middle grade, for like middle schoolers. So this year I had 4 books come out. So it's been a bonkers year. So basically I'm just always in my pajamas in my office talking to myself in front of a computer. That's my life now.
That's what I do too. I'm just in my underwear sitting at the thing because it's cool. It's hot right now. So I'm usually just talking to myself. And I do that too when I go out in public, and that's, the judge says I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. That's when you get in trouble.
That's when you get in trouble, he says. Yeah. So fun is fun. What's the future hold for you? Are there future books you're working on coming out? Maybe anything you're working on there for the future?
I have my next young adult book comes out September 30th. Look I actually have it in front of me. Night Skating. It's a rom-com set in Minnesota, kind of around high school hockey. And that comes out this fall. And then next year I have another adult rom-com coming out from Berkeley called, the working title is First and Forever, and it's kind of a sports romance about, like an NFL player and a normal girl sort of a thing. So again, my writing is very based in reality.
We were actually talking about what's the movie with Richard Gere again? I forget.
Oh, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman, yeah. And it's basically like Cinderella, right? It's basically modernized Cinderella, the story of Cinderella. And, it's always so funny. It's like, a hooker meets a billionaire and they fall in love and get married. What? It happens all the time in the news.
Right. I feel like there are a million delusional girls like me who spent their whole life daydreaming about these things. So it's a whole genre for us.
Well, you can sit there and go, well, I have a chance.
Right. So you're saying I've got a chance.
So you're saying I got a chance. That line from Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, that's a good one. So that's the story of my Tinder dating life. Anything more you want to promote before we go out?
I don't think so. I'm sure that my publisher will listen to this and be like, why aren't you promoting more? But no, this is it. Made for Each Other. It's out now. And Fake Skating is coming out in 2 months. So that's what I've got. That's what I'm pushing.
And of course, you're going to have more to come. You're going to be pumping out books for a long time. What do you love about rom-coms? Like, you may have mentioned this before, but what is your motivation in loving it? Is it activating those, dreams you used to have of, marrying a billionaire or you met in a hotel lobby?
It's that, but I think it's also the escapism. It's kind of like, the joy of watching the Marvel movie versus the Oscar nominated movie, like just the entertainment value, escapism, the hopefulness. And I just love the kind of the formula of the genre that, it's, from the first second you start reading, who's going to end up together, there's going to be a happy ending. So you can buckle in and enjoy all of the cringe and embarrassment in the story arc, knowing you're going to end up okay. So that's kind of what I like about it.
Oh, it's like a massage parlor. There's always a happy ending. Anyway, I don't know what that means, but I lived in Vegas for 20 years.
So you know what that means.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it. It's over on Sunset. Everyone tells me that's the area you go to. Anyway, but happy endings, people love. Don't do it. People love happiness in movies and stories that end well. And I made some decency there. See what I did? And but people love the story that ends well, and there's always hope. There's always hope.
Yes.
People love hope. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Give us your .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs?
You can find all my information on my website at lynnpainter.com, and I'm on Instagram at Lynn Painter Books.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
This has been a blast. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks, Roz, for tuning in. Pick up her book wherever fine books are sold. It's called Maid for Each Other, out July 15th, 2025 by Lynn Painter. Thanks for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss won the TikTokity. All those crazy places in it. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time or else. I don't know what that means.